Good morning from me, Krasimir, and as you know, Saturday belongs to Krasimira's team. Let me bring Krasimira's being here from 3 viewers. We jump to 5. This is 100% increasing of our audience. I'm extremely happy. Guten Morgen. Okay. Good morning. Another 3 people, they're still maybe drinking their tea and their hands, they are not free to type good morning. That's fine with me. We'll live even without. Hello. Okay, Margarita. Good morning, Margarita. Hello, Krasimira.
Hello, guten Morgen, Svetomir. Good morning, Astrid. Good morning, Margarita. Happy to be with you. Yes, it's a challenge to get up on Saturday morning, but here we are. That's our healing Saturday, Krasimira and Krasimira's Saturday. You said
This
it
is
right.
great name for the show. We need to make a trademark.
So, good morning, Maria Calimera. Calimera.
Oh, Maria, finally with us.
Yeah, we have so little time in my view that I just want to get started.
Go for it.
Yes, we've been talking, good morning, Steve. We've been talking about building success day by day, and we're building like a foundation for getting, hello, Dimka, becoming get goers and going after our goals. And we've been talking about how important it is to set your mind up so that your mind doesn't set you up in a direction that you wouldn't like. First, mindfulness, which is bringing the mind back home and, you know, getting into the fully present, into the present moment so that you can get a laser sharp focus upon what is to be done and what is it that you want to do. That's mindfulness. And then emotional intelligence, how to finally face your discomfort and be brave enough to just jump into it so that you can take your power back, become wholesome. Because when your mind is at home and you have all your power back, then you have that laser sharp focus and you go into action. Yeah, too good to be true, no? Here, I want to give you one more trick how to harness the power of your mind to go after what you want and not to take you after what it is used to be going after. When you are about to go after a goal, I would love if you write to me now in the chat box what is one thing that you have been trying to achieve and failing, and what is it that you find difficult? I mean, besides getting up mm, on Saturday morning and coming to the community, but what is like maybe you are aiming to begin writing a book, or you are aiming to get 10 kilos lighter, or you are aiming at getting a soulmate partner in your life, and there are action steps to take, like creating a profile on some site, and you would like avoid this because it's challenging. What is it? Write to me. Yeah, Svetomir. You got it. Saturday life. Write to me like, one example. Like, I want to get up at 5 in the morning, but it doesn't happen. It's just, or I have such a long to-do list and I want to be able to tick them off, but doesn't happen in the speed that I would like. What is it that doesn't happen? It doesn't happen. And if it doesn't happen, it's because there is one thing that the mind does perfectly well, and that's resisting the new and sticking to the familiar. And I've been reading an article these days about the dopamine, how much your brain loves dopamine. And dopamine is this hormone that gets released when there is pleasure, that you are into an experience of pleasure. And I've been mentioning it before and I will repeat it, but I believe that repetition is very, very effective thing, because that's how the mind works. It gets automated through repetition. So the mind loves to drive you towards pleasure. and away from pain, any kind of pain. Why? Because pain doesn't release dopamine, and dopamine is a proof to the mind, to the brain, that you are safe. You are going to survive. That means it registers all the time. Whatever you do, does it drive dopamine, or does it drive cortisol? Cortisol is the hormone of stress. So the mind doesn't want you to be in stress because it believes that if you're in stress, maybe there is a lion in front of you that's trying to make a lunch out of you. And so the thing is that when you go after something new, a new routine that you are creating, and we know that to create success, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to begin doing things that you haven't necessarily done before in a new way, creating new rituals for yourself. Yeah, very nice. But what we tend to do is, besides having a scattered mind, and besides avoiding difficult emotions, which takes our power back, we've already talked about that. Let's presume you are in the present moment, and you are in control of your emotions, and you are in, let's say, emotional well-being. Now you're about to do something that's new to you. For example, for me, for example, I try to do detoxification, which is like 3 days eating fruits and drinking teas to get my hormones in stage. In control. Yeah, but there is this familiar routine, like, having your croissant in the morning, having your boiled egg, and there is this routine of having a warm soup for lunch, and then yeah. So now what my mind, what my brain gets as a message is, there's no dopamine anymore. Now I have to get up and have this fruit for breakfast, and then I have to have that salad for lunch, and then I have to have that fruit for dinner. There is no dopamine at all. What does the mind do? It sticks to the formula. It says, yeah, just today, take it. Now look at that dinner. There is in Munich, there is dinners at every corner. There is this bretzels, there is this belegtes brötchen, that is like a sandwich with salmon, a sandwich with whatever you like, and it's at every corner. Now my mind is saying, yeah, take it, it's so nice, you're gonna get dopamine release. And the mistake that we can run into is, one moment, is that we set goals for ourselves that are so big, like perfectionist that I am, an achiever and go-getter that I am. The goal that I set for myself is, today, no, nothing. Today you eat 3 fruits and you drink 3 cups of tea, and that's it. That's a goal a little bit too high. When you define your success and you go too hard, too early, chances are your mind is going to resist it because there is no dopamine. So you have to find what is the way around my goal that can give me pleasure and at the same time move me towards my goal. So you're looking to find a solution that is 50-50. In my case, for example, because I don't see your examples, and I'm going to give example with myself. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to get back to you. Just to finish up. In my case, so what is going to be success for me? Success for me is going to be if I stick to fruit and tea, but a compromise would be that I could eat more than 3 fruits, and I could drink more teas, and I could buy a very juicy, sweet, expensive fruit that I like, for example, like a mango. I don't have to stick to apples, for example. So I define success a little bit lower. So I give myself a chance to win easier, which gives my mind the release of dopamine and serotonin, which again decreases resistance. So let's say maybe you will define success as every time when I do something and I learn something about myself, that is success. Or maybe if you want to go and run 5 miles every day, minimize that. Say, if I put my shoes on today, my training shoes on today, and go around the block, that's going to be success. In this way, you give less stress to the conditioned mind that is looking always for the familiar. I didn't succeed to distinguish the everyday boys fight without shout or punish them at the end. I'm talking and talking, but at the end, it all finishes the same way. Yeah, maybe it finishes the same way because the pain is too big there. You have to look for a way to minimize, to reward yourself. Let's say, define success this way. Define success, not that you do this without shouting and punishing them at the end, but let's say, do it in a way that will give you the sense that at least I offered my opinion. You're shouting and you're punishing them at the end because you are looking forward to have the end result of them obliging to you, them agreeing with you, them doing things the way you would like them to do. Reframe your success. Say, it's going to be a success if I just offer my opinion, and give them the space to think about it and reflect upon it, and maybe not change immediately today, but if enough people give them feedback, at some point it accumulates. So don't look at your role into this like, I have to change them now, and there is no compromise, and it has to be my way or the highway, because that's too high a goal and you end up disappointed. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that if you put a goal too high, your subconscious mind is going to really resist the feeling of achievement, resist the new, because the new way for you will be to offer your opinion without insisting. That means giving other people the choice and the right for a different reaction, and choosing for yourself peace of mind and self-satisfaction. That means you define success probably by a goal too high. I will be successful, I will feel like I succeeded only, and if only they go my way, they do things the way I see them. And that's a task not possible. That's mission impossible, because we cannot control other people, events, circumstances, future and past. But what we can control is the inner environment. Outer environment is outside our control. We can hope to influence outer environment, but for sure we can work on the inner environment. And what I'm offering you today is define success for your inner environment in a way that it can create dopamine for you. In other ways, when you go into a new routine or after achieving a goal, just convince your mind that you like the new thing. Like, I love it when I express my opinion without insisting, without holding on to something that without it I can't be happy. There is two things that screw everything up, and that is the aversion and the grasping, the holding. Aversion is when you say, I don't want to have that. God forbid I have that. No way. I don't want to have this discomfort. I want to stay away from it. And grasping is, I want this, and I want this very much, and I want it, and without it, nothing is going to be the same. Aim for neutrality. Aim to be, I'm here and I define success so low that there is no way I can fail. Like when I see somebody throwing their cigarettes on the ground, success for me is going to be just offer my opinion. Say it in a way that doesn't necessarily grasp to, they have to react this way. Otherwise, I haven't succeeded. Aversion will be, I don't want them to do that. No way, they must not do that. These are both ends of resistance, because you are not feeling successful. You're not feeling achieving what you are aiming for. So let's presume you are calm, because emotional intelligence is all about feeling your grasping, feeling your aversion, and controlling them, getting them low, getting them down. How? We already did that. Like, I accept what I'm feeling. What
So
is next?
not judging them,
Yeah,
not talking
absolutely.
about them. It's a boring life.
No, you're judging them because that takes you away from the more necessary focus on the inside, and it's painful on the inside, and everybody wants to escape from that, and it's easy to escape from that by looking at the outside, saying, if they could change, then I could be happy. Well, that's escape.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And what I'm saying is, define success differently. Define success like, every time when I offer my opinion, I have succeeded. That's enough, because then you have that satisfaction that I did what depends on me. The rest, I leave. The rest is their job, and I'm not God. Maybe they will transform, maybe they will change eventually someday, if they want to, when they are ready. God is working on them. Exactly. But that's not my mission. My mission is to be able to offer my opinion, and to stay calm, and to smile,
But
knowing that.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Can you imagine you have the power to change everything on the way you want? Do you think it's not going to be a boring life to
exactly.
change everyone
Yeah,
the way you want them to be?
everything happens for the purpose to make you aware of you, because outside environment is a reflection of you. So when you are in this situation, you see them throwing their cigarettes on the floor, and you get worked up, and you get upset. That's a message for you. It's not about them. It's never about them, because God works on you at that very moment. And every time when you grasp, and every time when you are averting, you are not centered, and you're refusing to get into your stuff. It's like, that's the moment when you have to apply emotional intelligence. That's the moment when you have to bring your mind home, because your mind is going on automatic, and it's saying, you see them, you have to change it, because if you have changed, and you are a hero, you are a good boy, you are somebody that's worthy, you have to do it. That's the old record. We don't want that. And there is this emotional turmoil on things, that they have the anger, they have this, them, that's where is the emotional balance. Now you have to dive into that anger, and you have to say, I can hear you, I can see you. Yes, that's anger. What's next? At that moment, you can feel the peace coming back, because anger is an old message. You don't need it anymore. You know that message. It's fine. You are not pushing it away. But you need your mind at home. You need your emotions calm down, and then you define your success. When I'm calm, when I'm present, what will be the very least thing the small step that I want to take in the new direction? That's gonna be my success. Every time when I do the smallest step, that's success. The Chinese people say the longest road is best started with the smallest step, because of the resistance of the mind, because the mind will always resist the new, and it will resist also a very high goal, because a very high goal takes a lot of your energy, and the mind is always concerned about your survival. It's not concerned about making you happy. It doesn't even know what makes you happy. It knows what is familiar and what is not familiar, and it sticks to the familiar. So if you want success that is in the new, then you have to go very, very, very low profile about the new, with a lot of kindness, with a lot of love. So define your success in a way that sets you up for winning, that sets you up for dopamine. When you have dopamine, you will not have resistance, and you will move closer to your goal than when you have cortisol and you're stressed, you're worked up, and you shout, and that keeps you in the familiar. That's one trick. The second trick that I wanted to tell you is, like, I was listening to Esther Perel the other day, and she was telling about one tool that she developed herself to overcome resistance, to overcome this, this feeling. I want to not shout, I want to stay calm, but something in me goes after it the old way. She was looking at the news, and they were showing a rocket being launched in space, and they were counting down like 5, 4, 3, 2. And at that moment, she was looking at that rocket. She was thinking, she was saying to herself, "Look, that's the point of no return. There is no way, nothing can stop that rocket now from being launched, being just." And then she said, and she took that counting down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she took that image. The mind works with images. There are two things that influence your mind: the images that you make in your head, and the words that you say to yourself about the image. Like Svetomir, in this case, when you see somebody throwing a cigarette on the floor, the image that you have is you, like Batman, like Spider-Man. I'm coming here to make justice into this world. This image and the words that you say to yourself, they shouldn't be doing that. That's you're grasping to them changing, and your aversion, not wanting to see the cigarettes on the floor. These are the triggers, and then you go the old way. The old neural pathway is being executed. She said that when you want the new behavior, which is like, I center myself, I take a deep breath, she would visualize the rocket being launched, and she would say to herself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bam, give me the new now. But the new has to be a very small thing that doesn't stress your habituated mind, doesn't stress it too much, because the limbic system, the amygdala, will always stick to, oh God, for God's sake, let's not stress, because that doesn't mean that you will survive. So in the case of Svetomir, I would say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let them be. But I just offer my opinion. Whether they're going to, yeah.
It's also like train your muscles with, you start with 2 kilos, so you cannot start with 100
Absolutely,
kilos.
because putting my training shoes on and getting around the block, I decide, is for me so easy that I can do it with like that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I do it. When I do it, my mind is getting new information, say, okay, so she survived. It was not so painful. Okay, I'm gonna let her do that. And you release dopamine about your achievement. And the mind registers that dopamine and says, so that's familiar. So I want her to get more dopamine. So I'm gonna let her do this tomorrow again and tomorrow again. And then eventually, every time when you offer your opinion about other people throwing their cigarettes on the floor, and you feel good about it, then you are not going to have this working yourself up. And then you will focus your energy on you giving a better example, because that's the only way you can only influence people, by personal example. Whether they're going to take it, when they're going to take it. And in most cases, you're not even aware that they are taking it, because they would not tell you. They would just be very secretive about it. But when they are on their own, they will say, I remember how he did that. I want to be like him. Whenever they are ready, you have no control. So maybe, Tsetomir, that's an exercise for you to let go of aversion, let go of grasping, seek neutrality, seek mindfulness, seek emotional intelligence, and define success a little bit lower for yourself. And I tried this with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm telling you, it works. But it only works when before that you have taken time to consider, what is the smallest step that I can take in this direction, so that I still feel good. So I can say to my mind, I love it. I'm loving it. And I'm elated by doing that. I'm so I'm thrilled every time when I see myself moving 1 inch towards my goal. And then with repetition, the mind will give you more allowance, because it will not be stressed about you being in pain. Everything that you connect to pain is going to fail. Tvetomir, you connect other people throwing their cigarettes on the floor with enormous pain. You get angry, and that's something that just sucks your energy. This energy you could use to work on your response. The gifts that you give to yourself is altering your response, and in this way you're giving the other people the gift of having the space and the time and their own pace for change. So I would say dopamine. Look for dopamine when you go out of your comfort zone. Step into the uncomfortable, but look to make it more likable. Your mind will then cooperate with you. So how to communicate with your mind so that it follows you? Give the mind an image that creates dopamine. Say to the mind words that convince the mind that that's pleasure, that's not pain, and say, I love it when I sweat. When I sweat, gives me an opportunity to change my t-shirts, and I
To have
go
a space
shopping.
around me because nobody want to stay next to me. I love when I'm sweat, especially in the bus. There's so
Exactly, you
much
find the
space
reason.
around me.
Exactly, you find the reason, but it has to be sincere. Your mind will not go for bullshit. It has
This is
to
not
really,
bullshit. It's a
you know,
personal space, you know.
it has to be something that when you say it, you feel the dopamine. For example, one reason, what do I say to myself when I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning? I say, yeah, but you're going to go on the bike now, and you know how you love it. I get at 6 so that I have enough time, because I start to work at about 8:30 or maybe 9, and I need 15 minutes to get from where I live to where I need to work. And
You
I
wake up
decided
so
that
late.
yeah, so late, yeah, so late. It's
We
really,
wake up
but
5 here.
yeah, no, I know, but it's 6 degrees here.
Okay,
But
understandable.
what I'm looking forward to is me sitting on the bike and having that feeling. I want to ride my bicycle. I want, and at 6 o'clock, and when it's cold, I'm telling you, yeah, Chatma says, like it. I look for pills of dopamine in the pharmacy next time. This is a drug. Yeah, you know, we are always looking for the magical pill because the mind likes it easy. The mind likes it that you don't strain too much. The mind doesn't like it when you're stressed. When you're stressed, you're not going to survive. That's how the mind um, deciphers this. So you still can trick your mind. You say, look, I'm going to do it the new way, but I'm going to do it in such small increments and with such an elevated feeling that you're never gonna have a clue that I'm moving out of the familiar.
Now I have something. We cannot blame the brain that do this because actually this is what the brain is doing. This is his job, yes? The job
Yeah,
of the policeman, if you make something to write you a penalty. Why you should swear to this? I've been swearing to them. But I've been talking on the phone, the policeman stopped me, write me a penalty. Yes, this is his job. So the job of the brain is to stop you from danger. Yes?
yes, to save you from pain, to drive you towards pleasure, and that you stick to the familiar because the mind is not sure if you go into something new if you're gonna survive. I have here a remark. Now I remember one lady saying that she didn't like meditation, so she fainted, and I guess this is how body reacted, and that was the result of her mind resistance. Absolutely, the mind will justify everything necessary so that keeps you to pleasure. She didn't like meditation. She associated meditation with pain. The mind will come up and say, okay, I'm going to keep you away from that pain. Now you have to faint. When you faint, for sure, you cannot meditate. It's the same way when you say, on Monday, I hate Mondays. We have this board meeting and I hate my boss and my boss is going to criticize. And the mind says, and listens to this word and says, okay, I'm going to give you a diarrhea so you can't even get out from bed. And for the mind, that is a gain. The mind doesn't know what makes you happy, doesn't care what makes you happy. It's not the mind's job to make you happy.
Yes.
The mind's job is to listen to your
To
reaction.
protect you.
Are you releasing dopamine? If there is no dopamine, forget it. There's going to be resistance. So we can get trickier, we can get cleverer than that. We can connect dopamine connect pleasure, connect elevated feelings and emotions about the new things when we make it so small that it's easy to succeed. It's your life, your rules, you define the rules, make them so easy that you cannot fail. When you cannot fail, your mind will not resist.
And we need to award ourselves after all. So the brain to
That,
know after this I will have, for example, chocolate, or I will have this or have that.
yes, and you know, I prefer, instead of chocolate, I prefer to go and I have a nice massage, because that's a reward
Me
that's not
too.
harming me. Chocolate is easier and cheaper, but when I go for my rewards, I make them really expensive. And I say I can afford. I can afford, like buying the most, because in Germany to get a juicy sweet fruit, it's like, you know, mission impossible, because everything here is like cold, and so, you know, like very untasty. And so I go to these special markets that they have the exclusive ones, I don't know, and I buy myself the most expensive mango, because that brings me closer to my goal. That gives me dopamine. Then I can have my detoxification. And I look at all the sandwiches and I say, you know, these sandwiches are really tasty. I don't really deny it, but I say, and I know that maybe it's going to give me pleasure to eat one of them. But you know what gives me more pleasure? Wow, what gives me more pleasure is to get into that uh, jeans shape 8. Or you know what gives me more pleasure? When I see my skin in the mirror. You know what gives me more pleasure? The self-satisfaction of having achieved a goal, something that I have set my mind upon. That gives me pleasure. I love it. That elevates me, that thrills me, and my mind says, okay, that looks like dopamine, that feels like dopamine. Okay, let her. That's the trick. Tell that to her. Yes, it's so powerful. She has to find a way to link pleasure to meditation. And to convince her mind, the words that she uses when she mentions meditation has to be, you know what I love the most about meditating? That after that I do that, or that there I meet these people, or that she has to find her own thing. It has to be sincere, and when she thinks about that, she really has to feel dopamine rising, and she has to make it really easy. Maybe she wouldn't have to stay there for 20 minutes meditating. Maybe she has to say, even if I only enter that room for meditation and I exit it again, that's a win. The next day, maybe if I enter the room, sit down, look around, get up and exit, that's another win. Maybe if I do 5 minutes today. No, that's because she's going to trick the mind. And it's all about that. But again, you have to start from getting the mind back home, check up for your emotions, put yourself in the present, in a state of I'm here and I feel good within my skin. Because with difficult emotions, you're gonna care less. You know, you're gonna be like, when, as long as you avoid feeling the uncomfortable emotions and you let your mind drive you around like a crazy horse, you know, what has been, what's going to be, blah 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 blah, what are other people doing? No, it's about you, inner environment, and laser sharp focus and using tools. You're getting cleverer, and the more you use the tools, the easier they become for you. I would like to share that after my participation in Insight and Morning Community, I like the new state. Svetomir, yeah, the new state, Svetomir, very much. This gives me the dose of dopamine I believe I need. Absolutely. That's dopamine when you like the new self. And what I've been discussing today is how to get there. You know, how to, I mean, you're going to get there anyways eventually, but how to get there easier and maybe quicker and with less struggle. And that's by knowing tricks, knowing tools, and utilizing them. I sometimes just let myself not do anything before doing. Somehow it makes me feel calm. I guess it's also tricking your brain. Of course, it's tricking your brain. Not doing something injects dopamine. Not doing something takes the freaking mind away from the idea that you're going to go through pain now. You can use doing nothing, and then you can say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, one little step, just that little step, because I like it, because it gives me pleasure, because that's what I want, that's what I'm choosing. I know the old ways are also pleasurable, but you know what gives me pleasure now? This thing gives me pleasure, and it has to feel like pleasure. You cannot just talk, you have to talk and feel it. And yeah, I would love you to share
But
next Saturday.
doing nothing before doing something, this is kind of meditation, because even this lady, which she said she failed because she doesn't like meditation, that's not true. She doesn't like the process which you provide as a meditation, because I believe in our life we do meditation daily without realizing this. She
Absolutely.
just need to connect with something what she's doing daily and give her a calm. For example, when I was in Bulgaria before, I was meeting like from 50 to 100 people a day, and when I go home, I was far away from self-development stuff and everything. I was just lying in bed watching the ceiling and doing nothing, just thinking of nothing. And my roommate came and said, "What you doing?" I said, "Nothing. Just empty my brain." This was kind of meditation. But
Yes,
when you tell
yes.
me close your eyes, I will put you nice music, maybe she think, my God, my spirit will go out, will never come back to the same body, I will die, blah, blah, blah.
She has to find, she has to take time, take pen and paper, and she has to find what is it that gives her pain, what is it that she doesn't like, where is her aversion, where is her grasping. Aversion is when you reject something and you want to stay away from it, and grasping is when you want to stay somewhere where and you don't want to leave from there. Like she is avoiding doing something, and she's grasping to staying where it is. Why? Where is her pain? And she has to look at that and see how she can turn it into a small step that will give her dopamine. What is the smallest thing about meditation that she can link to some kind of pleasure that relates to her, that applies to her? Only she can find out about that. For me, it's going to be different. And yes, I also have resistance before doing meditation. And for that, I have a diary, and I have a system with writing and rewarding myself. And that's another tool. But you have to find a way to, 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 to get something nice out of the hard thing, and make the hard thing easy enough so that it can give you dopamine. What she has, like fainting, we call this secondary gain. It's like by fainting, I'm gaining the freedom not to do what I don't like. And but the problem with secondary gain is that fainting is not a very pleasurable experience, neither. So you are rewarding yourself with more pain, and that doesn't work for you, because I don't imagine there is somebody who likes fainting on its own. So she can replace the reward. That's all about it. She has to look into the pain and see how she can turn this pain into a reward. And I'm really wondering now what Margarita thinks, and what Dimka thinks, and Steve and Maria and Astrid. I would love to, as I say, to turn these Saturdays into a more interactive experience, because when you give me your feedback, I can give you feedback on your feedback, and maybe in this way bring you even closer to your own experience. She mentioned that she didn't like meditation, and her meditation is riding a bike, being with a kid. Okay, so why does she think that she has to go to meditation then? What is it that she's imposing on herself, and why she would do that? This is all food for thought. And maybe maybe it's the mind convincing her that she doesn't need it because she doesn't want to face herself. Facing myself can be a very scary thing, and that could be as well justification of the mind sticking to the familiar and saying, oh, you don't need meditation, because you know why? When you ride a bike you can meditate, but when you ride a bike, can you face your emotions? Can you face your negative
No.
thinking?
No.
Yeah. Can you see where you are self-destructive? Can you lower the anxiety? Can you bring your shoulders down and away from your ears? It's like she has to. I would suggest she has to write about the pain. I don't like it because when I do meditation, it makes me feel this way, and I don't like it because it reminds me of, and I don't like it because when she has to look at the resistance and
The brain is
take it from
resisting
there.
because the brain is looking for entertainment.
Yeah. Mariamo, thank you for your feedback. Yeah, it is important, and I'm looking to to figure out if you have an idea how you can apply it. Would you apply it? How you think you can apply this, like the rule of immediacy: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for that, and then setting yourself up for success by lower down the I would say just not lowering down the goal, but dividing the goal into small steps, into parts. How can you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Because eating one bite at a time gives you more dopamine, and more dopamine means no resistance, green light. Your mind is going to join forces with you. You're going to bring your mind on your side in this way. Okay, so I think the time is.
I would like to say something about this meditation with the bike, because when I've been for meditation, which was 15 days, like 14 hours a day meditation, I spoke with a monk and I told him, listen, I found a pleasure. He said, what pleasure? I said, I start to enjoy washing my clothes. And he said, no, stop doing this. I said, why? Because the brain is looking for entertainment. Now the brain is resisting, and brain wants whatever you, sorry, whatever you want to do, the brain start to looking for entertainment. So this with the bike, you give so much pictures around your brain, just brain is taking as entertainment. Playing with the child is the same. It's feeding your mind with this kind of how in inside they call it mental masturbation. Okay, in Inside 4, I don't know, for people who did never been to Inside 4, it's a mental masturbation. You just take more information. You feel like meditation. It's not meditation. It's when you're calm and everything comes to you. For today, Maria Luca, you know you have Inside seminar, so I will see you in Inside.
Bravo, Mariamo. Yes, do the small steps. Small steps with dopamine.
For the other people, we have a hot chocolate. Wait, hot
Dopamine.
chocolate tonight with Monica. For the people who are in Paphos, welcome. People in Limassol, welcome. People which are in abroad, I'm sorry, COVID, unwelcome you. So you cannot come. But we can make you post it. We can send you pictures. See you tomorrow. And by the way, we don't finish next Friday. Okay, guys? We decided, as we are generous people here in Cyprus, as you know, our hospitality is amazing, and it's everywhere around the world famous. We are famous. I mean, we are good people. We decided to keep next Saturday, next Sunday again. We're not going to finish Friday. We're going to finish Saturday. So you're going to have Mira's team again. Svetomir, you know, next Saturday live with Mira.
And that's very correct. Small steps with dopamine. Yes.
You don't listen to me. You.
I was reading the chat. Small steps with dopamine.
This is very disrespectful, my dear Krasimira.
No, I'm getting you. Only when you start speaking, I already got you.
I'm joking, you know. By the way, thank you for being in your real energy today. You know, it's like, this is, by the way, guys, this is the real Mira, okay? This is the Mira which I talk on the phone with her, and this is the real.
Yeah, because you know, I'm thinking that I'm going to ride my bike now. I want to ride my bicycle. Yeah. Yoo-hoo. So
Okay.
I wish you a wonderful Saturday, and find your dopamine. dopamine in the discomfort. We're talking about the new habit you want to implement, the new you, like Twetomir said. Yeah.
And very soon it's gonna be we wish you a Merry Christmas because it's Christmas is coming, guys. Okay.
Another dopamine.
Yes. Don't empty your wallets for plastic stuff for your children. They don't want them. Anyway. Okay, we wish you an amazing day. Please come for a hot chocolate. Oh my, I don't know when I say hot chocolate, my mouth is full. Doesn't matter. I don't care I'm fat, I'm just more sexy. Okay, guys?
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.